Lipsky in the circle, 5.54 ERA, a 1.75 WHIP, 1-4 record. Has pitched in 5 games, all starts, and has gone 24 innings. Misses on the outside there. 22 runs, 19 earned, 10 walks, 17 strikeouts, 1 home run, and a 3.05 batting average against the transfer from D3 Mitchell, who had a superb career with the Mariners. Basically an all-conference member basically every single time she went out onto the circle. Does strike out Romlo there for her first of the day. Brings up Cividanis. Cividanis will swing on and miss. First strike, 1. Left to right, it's going to be Hannah Searles. Center field, Alyssa Calabrese. This one's popped up into right field. On it to make the play is Tatiana Martinez, and we'll actually have to stop right there. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Post, and we'll be back to see them take their first hacks of the day's contest. So moving right along here in Lemoy Field, and here's the starting lineup first for the Post University Eagles. Isabella Oliver bats first, plays short. Number 2 in our lineup, Alexandra Bisceglia. She will play first base, bat second. Haley DeBona bats third, plays third. Nyla Sapia bats fourth, plays second base. Alyssa Calabrese in center field. Sydney Jones behind the dish. Bailey Rule, the designated player, bats seventh. Tatiana Martinez in right field bats eighth. First pitch is going to be over in the center field. Great ranging play. That's Romalo tracking it down. And she snatches it out of the air for a pretty intense first out. The AIC gets their first out of the day. Searles bats after Martinez with, again, Lipsky doing the pitching for Post, and Grigsman doing the pitching for AIC. Her numbers on the season as she steps into the circle. 5.30 ERA, a 1.92 WHIP. 0-6, still looking for that first win. Has been twice on the NE10 all-conference team at the end of the year. Third team a couple years ago. First team last year from Shetland, Connecticut. About 10 minutes-ish away. First hacks for Skeglia. That one's high for a ball. So Bisceglia playing first base today. That'll be hacked into the parking lot. 244 average. Played basketball in high school as well. Still looking for a first round trip or two doubles, which represent both of her extra base hits this season. On the ground, this will find eyes and get through a single for Bisceglia. She will be on first base with the first hit of the afternoon. Makes way from Haley DeBona. No Angelica Tompkins today. That's a 409 hitter, an OPS over 1,000. A few extra base hits, the most deadly Eagle offensively out of the lineup today. In the middle, this could be two. On the second for one, the relay to first is not in time. Hard to get a double play in softball, and it shows it there. It'll be a fielder's choice. Popped up behind the bag at second, and that is going to be reined in by the shortstop Beaumont. And a couple quick ones. We do get our first base runner of the day with a single, but quickly disposed of the rest is Krigsman, and we'll be back for inning number 2. So Krigsman, Beaumont, Trejo, your 4, 5, 6 hitters, and your 1, 2, 3 in this inning. Krigsman again in the circle as well. She has gotten that utility spot on the All-NA-10 teams a couple of times. Just 174 at the dish to begin the season. Does have an extra base hit and a couple RBI. But definitely not the greatest start to her season offensively. She'll take ball one high. It's 1-1. Pitch is on the outside edge for strike 2. Lipsky, a pretty efficient first inning. We'll see if she can relay that into 2 nice innings to start her day. Yesterday, Assumption hosted Post, and they were running the bases, over 20 stolen bases between the 2 games they played yesterday with Jones behind the plate. We'll see if AIC gets the runner on if they try to test the arm and ability of Jones in this one. So trying to keep runners off first base would be imperative. That's outside. Searles, Calabrese, Martinez left to right. Try to get the defensive lineups in there. Backwards K now for Lipsky as Grigsman goes down looking. DeBona, Oliver, Zappia, Bisceglia around the horn, and Jones catching. Inside on Morgan Beaumont. No home runs on the season for Beaumont. Just a couple ribbies. Batting in the 5th spot of the order. That's 2 balls, no strikes on Beaumont. Third team All NE10 a season ago, was part of the All Rookie squad. Batting .302 early on in the season. Smacked right field. Going back is Martinez, and will snow cone it right on the warning track. That one wasn't going to get out, but could have got by Martinez, who did a good job at tracking it down. And 2 gone in the inning. And 5 up, 5 down for Lipsky. Post as a team, the ERA is high, over just about 9 earned runs a game given up. Teams are hitting .376 against the pitching staff, 30 strikeouts to 54 walks. Offensively, an OPS under 640 collectively as a group, just 1 home run. They haven't got caught stealing yet, so there's a positive. They've only gone 5 times, but are 5-4-5. And this will find no man's land right behind second base. Coming in to play is Scalabrese, and the first base runner, it's Trejo, gets a single, and we'll see if they try to steal second base. Trejo hasn't gone yet, and the team doesn't run a lot in AIC. They do have 10 steals on 15 tries. We'll see if they, again, test Jones, who already is coming out looking to see if a runner was going to test her. Here he goes. The throw down would have been in time, but skips past the shortstop Oliver, and that'll be a successful stolen base for the Yellow Jackets. Pitch comes in on the ground. Oliver dive by her. They're going to test the throw from center field. It comes in time, but gets under the tag. Actually, no tag applied. It skipped up on Jones, and an RBI single for Burns puts the first run on the board for the Yellow Jackets. So an RBI single for Burns. That's her first run-producing plate appearance of the season, and gives the Yellow Jackets a early 1-zip advantage. And the throws in there, but just offline. The throw from Jones over to second base would have been in time if the tag was able to be applied, but the ball skipped past the glove of Oliver and into center field, so stolen base. And then that throw there from center field came through cleanly, just didn't have enough on it, and the bounce brought Jones high to her feet, so no chance of getting a tag down. Swing by Curry, another stolen base, and that's 2 for 2. Deidre Curley down 0-2. And she swings and misses on the changeup. Great pitch from Lipsky. Went 5 up, 5 down, but then a couple of singles and stolen bases get AIC on the board. We'll be back for post response here shortly. Calabrese, Jones, and Rule due up for the Eagles as they find themselves down 1. And after some well-timed and well-placed base hits for the Yellow Jackets, Bisceglia got a single in the first, but was unable to get even to second base. Smoked into right field, ranging over just a bit, Viola, and 1 down. Sidney Jones has already given up 2 stolen bases. Like we mentioned, it was a tough couple losses to Assumption. 8-0, 11-3 in their 2 games. They did not complete 7 innings in either of them as they were mercy ruled. Jones, a graduate, was an all-academic at NC Central from Colorado Springs, Colorado. 200 hitter. Does have a couple of doubles. And again, we've seen teams try to abuse her defensive capabilities behind the dish. This one smacked center field and going and gone. Jones makes up for it and ties it up all herself into center fields. And the first home run of her year at home. And ties things up 1-1. Jones got a good pitch to hit, and she did not miss. Krigsman hung one over the plate, and Jones makes her pay. And a good swing from Jones, especially, like we said, you've kind of been harping on a little bit, but as getting abused a little bit behind the dish with all the base stealers she's allowed over the last 24 hours. So coming up big with a nice home run definitely acts as some mouthwash. Try to tighten up her situation. Second hit of the day produces a run for the Eagles, and here we are at Bailey Rule. She is ahead of the off-speed pitch, swings through it, 1-1 the count. 1 gone in the inning. Lifted foul. Rule, the freshman, just a $150 batting average to begin her season. Will pitch a bit as well. Takes the 2-strike pitch low and in for ball 2. Fifteenth pitch here for Krigsman. Lifted foul again, and this will stay foul. We're staying alive, fouled off some pretty good pitches, and we'll square this one up, but right at Robinson at second base. Almost took it with her. And that's a line out. But a good at bat by Rule. I mean, there's baseball, softball. It's a sport of failure. It's hard to look at the raw numbers and make judgments there. There are some numbers that just don't show, and good at bats don't. There's no stat for a good at-bat. It's a lengthy at-bat. You saw a couple pitches. You fouled a few two-strike pitches off, and you squared a ball up. You got the pitch you needed, and it's a process-driven game. If you're going for results, you're going to go mad. It's very much a process-driven game, and that was a good process. Got behind in the count, ended up working it back even, fouling off some pitches, hit the ball right on the button. Just so happened there was a player right there. That ball hit 1 or 2 feet to the left or right, and you're talking about a single. This one is going to stay up long enough, and Burns tracks it down. So a home run in the inning. Good process in that at-bat, or however you slice it or dice it. And the Eagles have tied the Yellow Jackets at 1 apiece. So the bottom of the order in Doucette, and then back to the top for Lipsky's done well. Again, 1, 2, 3 inning. Does have 3 strikeouts already. And some small ball for the Yellow Jackets produced a run. A couple singles, stolen bases as well. Lipsky 2 and 4 batters are when there's 2 outs, and 1 and 2 with runners on base. So again, got right down to 2 outs in the second, and then that's when the trouble started. Oliver to first, and 1 gone. (6-3) ground out for Lipsky and company. Isabel Kali Robinson back up. That was left high. The slap hitter, 0 for 1 so far. She grounded out to third base. That's foul. .300 from Hamden, Connecticut. Batting .300 to .623 OPS. Has just doesn't have an extra base hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and usually these slap hitters, it's put the ball in play, use your speed. They're not going to walk a whole bunch. They're not going to strike out a whole bunch. They're not going to offer much pop. But the idea is, hey, get on base. Let everyone else go. You see, very aggressively is the infield in. Sapia basically in the pitcher's circle. She's playing farther in than the first baseman. She'll take a 2 or 3 steps back. Outside edge. Got her looking. Great stuff by Lipsky. Already her 4th K of the day. And a beautiful strike 3 pitch for the second out of the inning. So all 3 innings, first 2 batters have come up and come down. It's last inning where the third batter of the inning is where stuff started to kind of fall off. Romlo, who made an incredible catch in center field to begin the game. The Naugatuck native, a stone's throw away from Lemoy Field. So a home game essentially for her. I'm sure she has friends and family in attendance. And this one lined right to third base, and that will do it. On the button, but out regardless. 1-2-3 inning for Lipsky and company, and back to their first inning ways. So bottom of the lineup for Post now is Hannah Searle is going to get her first swing at things, the left fielder. We did see some action for both teams. This has popped up and Robinson under it in the bullpen. Devin Barnett, the lefty, is getting some work for Post and can't quite see in numbers. Whoever's out there does have their warm-ups on. But I want to say it's Gabrielle Lambert who potentially is the one out there. Either way, first pitch is for an out for Searles, and that completes the first time through Post's order. Back to the top with Isabella Oliver. Oliver flew out to center field. That was that nice ranging play by Ramallo. Oliver just 146, but a 300 on base. She does draw her fair share of walks. So reason why she's at the top. From Waterbury, Connecticut, 9 walks. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. For Oliver, just grounded that one foul. Krigsman's pitch is high. This one won't be playable for anyone behind the dugout into the parking lot. So you notice a lot of smart people here. A lot of cars parked further back in the parking lot. This one roped too short. What a stab. What a throw. Beaumont, the defensive play of the day potentially so far. Backhand throw, even in the throw-in line, she flashed some weather just flipping it with her glove, and that is a 6-3 putout in the book, but a lot more interesting than that. We'll see that on some highlights later. And that brings up Bisceglia. Early childhood education major from Southbury, Connecticut. 0 for 1 today. Utility player playing first to begin. Grounder to third. They'll stay fair. Toss across the diamond. And it is over. Trejo, the final out. And we are flying through 3 here at Lemoy Field. It is still 1-1 as we head to the top of the 4th. Here we go into the fourth inning as we are on a sprint here. Game did start a good 10 minutes before the 2 o'clock first pitch designated time, which was just enough time for me to finish my scorecard before everyone got on the field. But either way, we are getting through it, to say the least here, and that's due to part Lipsky and Krigsman combined, I think, just 4 hits. Timeout called as it's Sividanis. Take an inside strike for strike one. Strike one. It's 1-1 to her. Sividanis, second team All NE10 and a All-Rookie member 2 years ago. Couple long balls for her on the year. Would love to get one here and retake the lead. And swing and a miss. Nope, they're going to say foul tip. Nope, they're going to say she's out. Never mind. We will figure out what happened eventually, but either way, a nasty strikeout for the first out of the inning. Lipsky really getting the strikeout numbers in here today. We look at her season so far. She 10 walks, 17 strikeouts in 24 innings, which is not fantastic K per 7. But is so far over 7 Ks per 7 pace. 5 strikeouts through 3 1/3 innings pitched. We'll miss twice here to Krigsman, who she struck out looking for her second strikeout of the game. Just blows the heat right by her. We talked about Lipsky and how good she was at Mitchell. Well, here we go. Player of the year in the pitcher of the year in the conference, all academic, multiple pitcher of the years, multiple all conference. This one lifted to center field. Calabrese needs to take a couple steps to her left to track it down. When they went to the GNAC, she was third. She was the pitcher of the year in the GNAC, pitcher of the NECC, twice first team all NECC, all academic in both conferences. She was a mighty fine pitcher. And doing her graduate season here at Post, and Calabrese doesn't have to move at all. And a line out and another very efficient inning here for Post. 5 strikeouts for Lipsky, and we'll see if the offense can add some more. DeBona, Sapia, Calabrese, and we return. Bottom of the fourth inning, like we mentioned, DeBona, Sapia, Calabrese here as the soccer team or the baseball team or both teams warming up on the right behind the outfield fence as DeBona will step in for her second crack at things. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the first after the Bisceglia single. And now they got eyes into the bullpen for AIC. You can see it's McKenna Slate who is warming up, not Gabrielle Lambert. Or at least now it's Slate. No action as Barnett was warming up for post. No action there as of this second. 1 ball, 1 strike. Quickly goes to 2-1. That's DeBona in a hitter's count. Inside out swing, tracked down by Burns, coming from her spot at first base, and a P3 to open up the fourth. Game 2 isn't slated to start until about the 4 o'clock time frame. This one's high, deep, but not quite deep enough. A couple steps back is all it takes for Curley. But Sapia did give it a ride. And since that home run, 7 up, 7 down for post. Or 8 up, 8 down, rather. As Calabrese lined out to Curley. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here on Calabrese has made a couple nice plays in the field. Pops this one up. Is it playable? Towards the backstop and just out of play. Craig's been looking for a strikeout. Won't get it, but will get lined right into her glove. And that one is a scorcher right back to her. L1, just how they draw it up. And again, since the Sidney Jones home run, post offense, extremely quiet. So like we mentioned with Post, since their last base hit, they have gone over since their same thing for AIC. It was Trejo and Burns, the first two due up in this inning. In the second, and then since then, 0 for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 strikeouts, 1 each inning for the Yellow Jackets. So their offense also taking a little bit of a siesta. Their offensive stats are definitely very comparable to Post, as that is almost tracked down. Or are they going to call it? I'm going to say no, it hit off the fence. It would have been akin to the Ceddanne Rafaela Relia Abreu alley-oop catch in Detroit last season. For those who remember that one, when Rafaela went right into the deep part of Comerica Park in Detroit, where it's like 480 feet to center field for some reason. Jumped up, almost made the catch, banging the wall. The ball stayed up, and Willie Abreu came through and caught it for him. This one's lined over to second base, and Sapia will catch it. Almost akin to that, but did hit off the yellow fencing. So not quite the spectacular play, but they make a nice play anyway. And this would be this is the 9th or the 10th batter to bat since Burns came up. Oh for 8 since her single in the second, which produced a run. Trejo singled, and then she stole second base. That single from Burns able to bring her home despite a nice throw from Calabrese. But I was talking about the AIC offense. It's very comparable to Post, and it's not exactly a compliment. On-base percentage and slugging percentage both under 300. Post does have a little bit better in those categories. The pitching staff has pitched much better as the first walk of the day for either side is picked up. And Burns, the only player today to get on base twice. But the offense for AIC has not been great. The pitching's been okay. Definitely a lot of closer games, 1, 2, 3 lost games, rather than Post, who's a couple of times been really blown out. And here's Doucette after Curley lines out to right field. That's low. Doucette, the designated player today, batting, was Viola in right field isn't. She's the flex. Scorcher through, dive in right on the second base goes Oliver. Wow, what a play. Strand's a runner, the first runner in quite some time for Post, and the defense came to play. Both teams some highlights, and the latest one by Isabella Oliver. Diving in the hole, tap second base. I'll just do it myself. Game going by so fast, we're not even going to throw warm-up pitches. Is AIC ready to go? Jones, they're going to have to wait a second as she gets the catching gear off. But no hits since her long ball in the second. The first home run of her year. I think second post hit all season. And it was to the deepest part of the park. And you'll see what she has up her sleeve for the second time through. Krigsman's been awesome. I mean, just 2 hits giving up, 1 walk. Nope, I lied. We're looking at the wrong thing. 2 hits, 1 run given up. No walks, no strikeouts. So it's only been 2 base runners to reach all day. And for the most part, has been extremely efficient. And it's kind of kept Post stranded. Only thrown 40 pitches as she starts the 5th inning. That's on pace for 10 an inning for those who can't divide by 4. Swing and a miss as Jones taking big hacks, knowing what she's capable of doing with her home run, but sometimes you have to reset. They like to say flush the bat away in softball. There's a lot of mistakes and little errors you can make, but you also got to flush away your successes. Every single pitch is a brand new ball game, and you can't keep, what happened last pitch or last at-bat doesn't matter here. Goes the other way. This is diving fast, and we'll find some grass. And it wasn't pretty, but it got the job done. 2 for 2 for Jones. She has 2 of Post's 3 hits, and I think the first leadoff batter all game for either side to reach. First pitch swinging is Rule, and it climbs up the backstop. Nice catch by Sividanis. Grounder over to first base. Foul territory. Post 3 hits. 1 left on base. That's about it. 1-1 ball game. Cranked and playable? No, right into the bullpen of AIC. AIC just had a brutal weekend with Adelphi where they lost 4 straight games. Score of 6-0, 4-1, 1-0, 6-0. They were 11-21 last year, are riding a 6-game losing streak where they've scored 1 or less runs in each of those games. Shirley Tolentino in her 8th season. Started her collegiate coaching career at Bridgeport. Not too far from here. Was the hitting/infield coach. This will find the outfield grass. Jones won't even take the turn. Just station to station they go. And back-to-back base hits for Post as the offense trying to finally starting to see something against Krigsman the second time through. And we're going to have a meeting in the circle. As coming out is Tolentino. Tracy Garofalo, who is in her 16th season coaching Post, but also just her first season as she left for 4 years, so back for the second time. Head coach at Post for 15 years, was the coach of the year in 2014. Was a phenomenal 2-sport athlete as she played softball and basketball. Still the school's all-time leading scorer in women's basketball. We're going to have a pinch runner come in. It's going to be number 2, Leah Marrero, comes in to run for Jones. And they will keep Krigsman out there. So Marrero on second. Martinez is going to try to bunt the runners over. So Marrero at second base. She has no stolen bases, has gotten some work, some at-bats. And 0 for 2 on bunt attempts. If you're extremely confident, like if you need to get this bunt down, I've kind of taken the no bunting on 2 strikes and thrown out the window. If you want to get that bunt down, you get that bunt down. If you so happen to strike out on foul balls, so be it. We'll see if Garofalo agrees. Outside, taken for a ball. Martinez popped out to first base her first time up in the second inning. 2 on, no out. As Post threatening to score for just the second time today. Really threatening to score for the first time today. The only score they have was on a solo shot. But first time a runner's been at second base today for a Post. It's Marrero running for Jones. On the ground, that will find eyes, get through. They will hold everybody up. The throw comes in. But it's bases loaded for Searles. We'll see if they go to somebody else. And I think they're going to keep it with Searles. 3 straight singles for Post. Oliver on deck. Bisceglia after her. First pitch, lines, caught. They're going to go back to second base, but that will score the run. A sacrifice fly and an RBI for Searles, and it's Post up 2-1 now. So Marrero will score. Everyone else back to their bases, and it's Oliver who will look at strike 1. And Rule kind of got off the base. That was a sinking liner and great stab by Viola. But she threw it to second base because they thought that, hey, maybe Rule might have been too far off the bag. Normally you would have seen a throw home, but it might have actually worked out in Post's favor, kind of baiting the throw into second base instead of testing the runner. Now, would the runner have been safe or not? That's to be determined. We didn't see the throw. But it kind of naturally worked out that way that they didn't really even get a chance to throw over to home plate. Oliver smacks it foul. Hit someone's car. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On the ground, and that won't get through again. They're going to hold the runner over at third base. That's Rule, and we'll have bases loaded again for Bisceglia. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, all singles, and the last couple all have come up the middle. And it looks like we'll have a pitching change. We'll be back, but that's going to be it for Krigsman, at least right now, still responsible for all 3 runners, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, so a couple of switches. Let's start with Post. A new pinch runner at third base is coming in, Devin Barnett. New pitcher is going to be Trinity LaValle. She is going to be in the circle, but Krigsman's not out of the game. She's moving over to first base. The first baseman, Burns, is going to move over to right field, and then Viola is going to go sit on the bench. So those are all the substitutions. LaValle right now, this is going to be her 7th appearance out of the Arm Barn, a 3.28 ERA, 10 and 2/3 innings pitched, a 2.63 batting average against. First pitch rolls all the way around, but nobody able to advance on it. And it's Alexandra Bisceglia, excuse me. Be a great spot to really blow this thing open. It's a 2-1 post lead with just one out here in the 5th inning. It's Bisceglia looking for her 6th, 7th, maybe even 8th RBI of the season. She gets a hold of one. Could be 9. 1 ball, 1 strike. Valley pitches. That is low. A low 3 ERA for her. And now Bisceglia, one of the best hitters on the team, in the driver's seat with the 2-1 count. Lined over the second baseman's head. This is going to come over to the warning track. Burns now in the outfield is going to toss it in. And 2 runs on the double from Bisceglia. 4-1 posts. Big hit by number 33. Two RBI on the double. And still more to do as still ducks on the pond for the Eagles. It's DeBona. Watch that at the knees for a strike. Still just one out. Single. Sacrifice fly, single, double. 2 runs. 3 runs total here in the inning. Change-up left low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Tatty hack there from DeBona and came up empty. 4-1. Those runs still on Krigsman's list. Through 61 total pitches, 42 4 strikes. Not enough for outs, though. It's up and in, and either 2 up or either 2 in. And bases... 2 on, both in scoring position, the full count, 1 out. Here as we an hour into this game, and a big strikeout, the first strikeout of the day for Post offense. And LaValle picks up her first. Nyla Sapia has hit the ball well today. Hasn't really shown on the box score. Good block by Sividanis. Has a chance to get a hold of this one and drive in a couple more. Calabrese on deck, and then after that we're back to Jones, who started this inning with a single by Rule. Marrero came in to pinch run. She's going to score the run for Jones. Barnett's going to score the run for Rule. Martinez went all the way around. Kept the bat head. It's going to be a ball. Two balls, 1 strike. Good at bat brewing here Sapia. Valley, the pitch. Fouled off. Some action for Post in the bullpen. It's been a little bit since we've seen Lipsky, as this inning is by far the most extended one we've seen in the game. Swing and a miss, a big strikeout, but not before a huge double by Alexandra Bisceglia gives Post a 3-run lead. A sacrifice fly from Searles broke the tie, and that will do it for the 5th inning. A nice little cushion for Post as Lipsky back into the circle. We'll see you for the top of the 6th in just a moment. Sixth inning, top of the lineup. This is where AIC needs to get back into it. Between the top 3, top 5 actually, 0 for 10 combined. So Lipsky's done a good job at silencing the top part of the order, and that's going to be the first hit. Oliver will make a nice stop, but still an infield single for Isabel Kali Robinson. So the first base runner through that top 5 in the order. The bottom 4, 2 hits, Trejo and Burns also add a walk to that. Runner on, Robinson going, the throw is nice, the tag is in time! And a caught stealing, not an automatic stolen base, as Robinson, as quickly as she's got on, quickly dispelled back to the bench. Good throw from Sydney Jones. Bunt laid down, Lipsky over, throw on to first, held the bag, and 2 quick ones. And what started off as a pretty successful start, the first leadoff base runner against Lipsky, is going to turn into potentially a face the minimum as a swinging bunt now. Jones out of her stretch and got her at first base. Maybe 3 or 4 pitches, as that's all it takes. AIC goes down with a whimper, and we'll be back for the bottom of the 6th. Post, potentially their last chance to add some insurance. So like we mentioned, it could be the last chance for Post to add on here. Calabrese, the only woman not to bat in that 5th inning, which means that things went pretty well for Post. They scored 3 in the 5th. They'll get her first axe here since her line out right back to the pitcher, Krigsman, in the 4th. And Trinity LaValle has taken over. She got a pair of strikeouts, but did give up that big double that broke things open. LaValle, again, 3.28 ERA, was all conference in high school, hailing from Wallingford, Connecticut. Her 2 strikeouts push her season total to 5 now, and given up 10 walks as well. And a quick 2-1 count here on Calabrese. Outside for a ball, 3-1. And LaValle will miss high and walks her first batter. Did have 10 walks, like we mentioned, coming into play. And that happening over just a stretch of 10 2/3 innings. So make it 11 walks and I believe like 11 1/3. Jones, big hack. Comes up empty. Home run and a single. Her home run in the 2nd got the scoring started for Post, and then the single was what started the rally. She's going to drop down a bunt. Everyone crashing over, but that's going to lay foul. So both teams trying to lay down bunts in different situations, trying to keep both of their infields honest. Jones slashes it behind her. Fighting with 2 strikes on her. Back-to-back innings now that Post has got the leadoff runner aboard. This time via walk, last time via single. Popped up. Burns over now in right field. And he'll toss it back in for the first out of the inning. First time they've gotten Jones out. Set a goal of hitting 500 this year. Might not quite get there, but is hitting over 500 today, so that's a plus. Brings up Bailey Rule, who was pinch run for, back into the game. Roll 1 for 2. A single. Then Barnett ended up doing it for her, but her spot in the lineup scored a run eventually. A stolen base is a good read in the dirt. Calabrese will pick up the steal, and Post didn't run off in their 6th white bag of the season, but they are 6-4-6. Oliver is 2 for 2 this year. Tompkins 1 for 1. DeBona 1 for 1. Rule 1 for 1. Calabrese, that's her first go, and successfully so. 3 balls, no strikes, in danger of walking the second batter of the inning. Rule will take it all the way for strike number 1. Post 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position, or with runners on, at least. Only left 2 runners on base all day. Staying alive, and Flair just past Trejo at third base. 3 balls, no strikes. Quickly turns to 3 balls, 2 strikes. Offered. Did she go? No, she did not. Walk number 2 in the inning. And now first and second for Post. This Tatiana Martinez asked to drop down a bunt earlier. Ended up actually doing something better, which is a single up the middle to load the bases. We'll see if they ask for the bunt again, but with the bottom of the lineup coming up, and that would be 2 outs most likely, I think they're going to let her swing away. Sky high into right field. Burns calls off Robinson. Thought there would potentially be a collision there, but good job by both fielders communicating. F9 into the scorebook it goes, and brings up Searles, who sacrificed fly, broke the tie in the 5th inning. 0 for 1 on the day. Take strike 1. Would love to get 1, maybe even 2 more here for Post and push that lead up to 4+. Give themselves a nice cushion. The pitching staff as a whole has been quite shaky. As we talked about, the ERA as a team over, what is it, over 8? Almost at 9. Look at the pitchers. Lipsky, a 5.54 ERA. That's as good as it gets. Calabrese will throw some innings. She's up to over a 10 ERA. McGurk, she'll throw a bunch. 15 ERA. And then Rule, who's gotten in there for a bit. She's at almost over 7.5. So Lipsky giving you a pretty good start today. But the rest of the options haven't quite got it done for Post. And back-to-back base on balls. Or not quite back-to-back, but 3 of the 5 batters up here have drawn the walk. And now bases loaded for the top of the order. Oliver. 1 for 3 on her day, and was robbed twice. So easily could be 2 for 3, 3 for 3, with even an extra base hit in there. But so is life. That's baseball, Susan. 0-2 the count now. Oliver has to protect. Sky high in the infield, and it's going to be Trejo who tracks it down. So to the 7th we go. Lipsky already in the circle. She's ready to go, trying to go for the complete game. 1-run performance. Can she get there? Well, wait a minute, folks. You'll have to find out after this. So to the 7th we are. The 3 batters due up are combined 1 for 6 against Lipsky with a strikeout and a single. And a soccer ball into the outfield is going to pause play momentarily, but we are back. Here we go. It is Krigsman who is now at first base. Beaumont and Trejo. Lipsky down the pipe, strike 1. Again, fans, after about 30-ish minutes after this one ends, we should have game 2. After that big 5th inning, it's probably going to be closer to that 4 p.m. agreed start time. Outside for ball 1. Sinking liner right field, and that is Martinez there for the first out of the 7th. So far, 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts for Lipsky. The strikeout stuff we haven't seen in a few batters now. The last strikeout was Sivadonis' second at-bat. Since then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight batters without a strikeout. After 5 strikeouts through pretty much the first time through the lineup, plus a couple more. But without that strikeout stuff, it's been more efficient. And it's coming into this inning just 62 pitches for Lipsky. Not quite a Maddox, as she has thrown she has given up a run. I guess what would the Maddox equivalent softball be? A complete game shutout with under 70 pitches or 80 pitches? A strike on the edge brings the count back to 2-2. We'll see what she goes to. It's been the changeup a couple of times. Just flares it out. What a stab! Skeglia at first base ranges to her right. And now 2 down and looking a Game 1 win right in the eyes are the Eagles. Can they finish it off? Trejo, one of just 3 batters to get a hit off Lipsky today. We'll try to extend this one for just a little bit for the Jackets. Strike 1. Nevea Trejo. Macy Burns on deck. She has a single and a walk. Big swing. I think Jones thought that was strike 3, but a nasty change. Trejo over the top. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Strike 3, another changeup, and Lipsky, her best performance of the year, comes here at Lemoy Field, and Post takes Game 1, the score of 4-1. Lipsky sensational. She goes the distance in only about 80-ish pitches, not even. Her line's going to look like this. 7 innings, 1 run, 1 earned, 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 Ks. 2 looking. For AIC, Krigsman's going to pick up the loss. She ended up with 4 runs, 4 earned, so she got dinged with all of them. 6 hits. LaValle came in for inning in 2/3 of relief, gave up a hit, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. And Krigsman now 0-7 on the season. For Lipsky, picks up her 2nd win of the year. big 2 RBI double by Bisceglia. You had Jones the home run and Searles the sac fly. And it was just 1 run on RBI single from Macy Burns. 3 hits altogether for AIC's offense. We'll be back in about 30-ish minutes or so. We will let you know the original